Hello friends, this expedition is brought to you by USA Coins History. Imagine holding a coin so small, so seemingly insignificant, yet its story shaped the very fabric of early American commerce, governance, and the delicate balance of wealth. In the years following the birth of the United States, the young nation faced a staggering challenge, creating a standardized currency that could unite a sprawling population, stabilize trade, and reflect the fragile authority of a fledgling federal government. Amidst whispers of inflation, scarcity, and debates that raged within the chambers of Congress in Philadelphia, a decision emerged that would seem trivial at first but conceal consequences that stretched decades into the future: the creation of the half-cent, America's smallest coin. Authorized under the urging of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton in 1792, the coin was conceived as a means to facilitate everyday transactions among common citizens. A unit small enough for daily commerce, yet carrying the implicit weight of the new nation's trust and authority. Hamilton's vision was precise. The coin had to be affordable, practical, and a testament to the federal government's ability to manage the economy. Yet he was aware of the skepticism among both politicians and merchants who feared that such a minuscule piece of copper could become worthless, counterfeited, or ignored by the very people it was meant to serve. In the shadowed halls of Congress, heated debates unfolded over the proper size, material, and design of this small emblem of American sovereignty. Philadelphia, home to the United States Mint and the nerve center of the young economy, became the stage for a tense dance of ambition and caution. Henry William de Saussure, the newly appointed director of the Mint, meticulously oversaw the production plan, coordinating with the talented engraver Robert Scott, whose design would ultimately feature the symbolic liberty and an elegant reverse wreath that whispered authority and hope in equal measure. Decisions over metal composition, primarily copper with precise purity, reflected both economic pragmatism and the political desire to assert national identity. Even a slight misstep in alloy or weight could provoke market distrust or, worse, inspire counterfeiters to undermine the federal currency system. Every choice, from thickness to diameter, carried moral, financial, and symbolic weight, and each figure involved from Hamilton and de Saussure to Scott understood that this tiny coin could either cement federal authority or expose it to ridicule and failure. The first striking of the half-cent in 1793 was met with a mixture of awe and skepticism. Merchants hesitated, children pocketed the small coins with delight, and government officials watched nervously as these copper discs entered the hands of a nation still learning to trust its fledgling institutions. Rumors swirled about the coin's durability, whether it could withstand circulation, and how it would affect wages and prices, igniting subtle tensions across taverns, markets, and banks. Behind the scenes, financiers debated its worth, scribbling ledgers with careful calculations of how these diminutive coins might either preserve small-scale wealth or vanish in the chaos of hoarding and melting. The half-cent became more than currency. It was a silent experiment in governance, trust, and social psychology. A miniature mirror reflecting the ambitions and anxieties of a nation still defining itself. By the end of Part 1, the origins of the half-cent reveal not just a coin, but a story of power, foresight, and risk. Every detail: the engraver's line, the mint's furnace, the decisions in the congressional chambers set the stage for the conflicts, challenges, and eventual legacy that would come to define its journey through American history. Yet even in its earliest days, whispers of controversy and unforeseen consequences hinted that this small coin would cast long shadows, shaping the economy, politics, and the collection halls of the future, leaving the young United States with questions it had yet to answer. As the half-cent settled into circulation, the story of America's smallest coin quickly became a tale of power, conflict, and unexpected failure, a narrative that extended far beyond its copper surface. The young federal government, still learning the delicate art of economic control, faced immediate scrutiny from merchants, bankers, and the public alike. Political factions questioned the necessity of such a small denomination, arguing that its production diverted precious resources from more urgent monetary reforms. Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton and Mint Director Henry William de Saussure found themselves navigating treacherous political waters, defending a coin that seemed at once trivial and critical. a symbol of federal authority that could easily be undermined by neglect or mismanagement. Robert Scott, the engraver, continued to refine his designs under the pressure of tight deadlines, conscious that every curve, every embossed letter, carried not just aesthetic significance but a symbolic assertion of liberty and trust. The half-cent was now more than currency. It was a character in the drama of governance, a test of the fledgling nation's ability to enforce and maintain its policies while keeping citizens engaged and confident. Conflict arose in unexpected ways. Counterfeiters, seeing opportunity in the coin's small size and copper content, began experimenting with copies, forcing mint officials to tighten controls and rethink metal composition strategies. Debates raged in Congress over production limits, costs, and the potential impact on everyday commerce. Merchants in Philadelphia and Boston reported hoarding or refusal to accept the coins, triggering informal price inflation and undermining confidence. Investors and financiers, always keen to measure risk, tracked the movement of the half-cent with almost obsessive attention, calculating whether this small, seemingly insignificant coin could quietly destabilize local markets. Within the mint, tensions simmered as technicians debated furnace temperatures, alloy ratios, and die longevity, knowing that even minor errors could reverberate across the economy. Hamilton's vision clashed with practical realities, and the coin's very survival became a measure of administrative competence and political resolve. Amidst these struggles, the half-cent began to attract attention in private collections and early auctions, foreshadowing the financial intrigue it would command decades later. The first unofficial private sales were charged with almost theatrical tension, collectors vying for scarce specimens, subtle threats of inflated bids, and whispers of future rarity. In 1797, as circulation numbers fluctuated and hoarding became more common, three particular coins, one retaining perfect mint luster, one slightly worn but historically significant, and one misrecanted, the hands of Egabitus, each transaction illuminating both the coin's fragility and its emerging symbolic power. These auctions revealed an unexpected truth. The smallest coin, initially dismissed by some as inconsequential, had become a vehicle for prestige, wealth, and influence, the very characteristics that caused merchants skepticism. Its size, scarcity, and delicate craftsmanship drove intense collector interest, illustrating the paradox at the heart of its history. By the close of Part 2, the half-cent had transformed from a practical solution to an emblem of conflict, ambition, and financial tension. Political battles, production challenges, and early collector obsession all intertwined, creating a narrative rich with suspense and uncertainty. The coin story was no longer just about everyday transactions. It was a living testament to the complex interplay between authority, economics, and human ambition. Shadows of failure and hints of controversy stretched forward, promising that the consequences of this tiny copper disc would resonate through future auctions, policy debates, and the very identity of the U.S. Mint, leaving the stage set for the final act of consequences, auctions, and legacy that would define its ultimate historical significance. As the half-cent entered its final chapter, the narrative shifted from immediate conflicts to far-reaching consequences, historical legacy, and the high-stakes world of auctions, where its true value, both financial and symbolic, was revealed. The coin, once dismissed as trivial, had become a coveted artifact, representing the ingenuity and missteps of the early federal government, the vision of Alexander Hamilton, and the delicate craftsmanship of Robert Scott. Collectors and historians alike began tracing its journey through circulation, hoarding, and early sales, uncovering stories of families who preserved rare specimens, merchants who reluctantly accepted them, and mint officials whose initial fears of failure had been partially realized. By the early 19th century, the half-cent's rarity had increased significantly. Its small size, limited mintage, and meticulous design rendered it almost an enigma, a symbol of the precarious balance between practicality and prestige in America's monetary history. The first major auction that caught national attention occurred in 1826, where a near-pristine 1793 half-cent drew fierce bidding from wealthy Philadelphia collectors, culminating in a price that far exceeded initial expectations. The tension in the room was palpable. Each bid carried not only financial weight, but also social signaling, as wealthy individuals jockeyed for historical authority and the bragging rights of owning a piece of the nation's past. A second, pivotal auction, held in Boston in 1850, revealed the increasing fascination of numismatists, with variations and subtle differences in diameter, edge, or die engraving transformed what had been ordinary circulating currency into prized collectibles. Bidders, aware of the coin's story, understood that they were not simply purchasing metal. They were buying a connection to the ambitions, errors, and aspirations of the early United States. The third historically documented sale in 1891 confirmed the half-cent's position as a legendary coin, fetching astronomical prices that reflected both scarcity and the enduring legacy of the mint's early experiments. Each sale underscored the coin's evolution from functional currency to historical treasure, illustrating a broader lesson. What begins as a practical solution can, through time and narrative, become a symbol of cultural and financial authority. Beyond auctions, the coin's historical consequences manifested in policy adjustments and mint practices. Officials learned that production quantities, alloy composition, and distribution methods could dramatically influence public trust and economic stability. The half-cent's diminutive size had caused practical difficulties in commerce, leading to eventual discontinuation in 1857 and the rise of alternative denominations, better suited for daily use. Yet, its influence persisted. The coin shaped the way the mint approached new designs, informed collectors' valuations, and reinforced the importance of historical storytelling in monetary culture. Historians and numismatists would repeatedly return to the half-cent as a case study in balancing practicality, symbolism, and political oversight, demonstrating that even the smallest coin could leave an outsized imprint on national identity. By the end of Part 3, the half-cent's story is complete in its historical scope, yet intentionally unresolved in emotional consequence. Its auctions, controversies, and enduring legacies serve as reminders of the complexity inherent in governance, finance, and human ambition. The coin quietly influenced the creation, transformation, and eventual discontinuation of other denominations, leaving lingering questions about trust, value, and authority that ripple into modern American collectors, historians, and citizens alike are invited to reflect on the half-cent's journey, to wonder how a coin no larger than a thumb could carry the weight of a nation's hopes, fears, and ambitions. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment as we continue our exploration of America's coins and uncover the hidden dramas embedded in every piece of history, hinting at the next expedition without revealing its secret.